I don't like Akon. I've just never liked Akon. I don't know why.
I like Akon.
What if you pair him up with Young Jeezy?
I just thought Locked Up sounded like he just was he dropped his soap one too many times in the shower. He's afraid. Locked Up to me was never Locked Up just sounded like, oh man, he just want to come home. Like it's just I've been locked up.
That's why he's got like 48 kids. He's got to prove to the world that he isn't gay.
There was nothing inspirational. It was just like, damn, you protect your booty hole. Like it's just,
I don't think I'm ever gonna hear that song the same again now. Because now that you when you really think about it, that's a valid point. Like he kind of does sound like
he fucked around and got locked up. They won't let him out.
like
he's just
he's somebody's bitch.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't do it, Keem.
No, I'm not. That's not mine.
All right, cool. Welcome back to All Sorts of Sports, episode 70.
All sorts of sports.
Shit out. Go ahead.
But apparently I got fans. Apparently my hips just don't lie. Motherfuckers just love it. I'm just.
You realize that we can't see your hips?
Yeah. Okay, Shakira.
I know. This shirt's a little tight, so it's unbuttoned down here. So I'm just kind of chilling out.
Man, don't tell me you potting in your drawers, bro.
No. I'm feeling very. I'm in a. It's my anniversary day. I'm feeling really tropical. Plus, my girlfriend fucking hates this shirt, so I'm gonna wear it while I can, and then afterwards, I'm gonna toss and wear something else out tonight.
You put it on, thought you was gonna get a fit off, and then she was like, "No."
She's not here. I just know in general she doesn't like this shirt, so I'm just gonna.
She gonna give you the scrunchy face. She gonna walk in like, "Are you wearing that?"
I'm trying to figure out, what do you wear to Fogo de Chao? I don't want to stay away from light colors because I'm going to get meat all over me.
Yeah, dark colors and loose pants.
Right.
Dark colors, loose pants.
Yeah, I'm excited. Give me some resilience.
You know, that's interesting. I feel like every time you get a girl, like she has one article of clothing that she really just hates.
And then it disappears.
She has an entire sect of my wardrobe she fucking hates. Because I don't know if people...
Shit.
Why?
My girl hates my Maryland shorts, and I haven't seen them shits in like a month.
She tossed some bitches.
They're gone.
They gone.
Oh, I fucking love them shorts.
No, yeah, see, I do majority of laundry.
You
so
love
ain't
her.
Nobody tossing my shit.
He doesn't like the shorts, thus the shorts are gone.
Yeah.
No.
The fact that we're watching this,
she loves me, so we love the shorts.
No, we don't love the shorts.
No, we love the shorts.
Dude, your engagement photos, you touched your car more than your wife. Like, I'm just trying to make sure that you realize.
And guess what? I had the shorts in the fucking car. Okay.
He was touching the car because he needed the shorts.
Hey,
is that what it was?
The car, she was touching me.
Wow,
she touched the shorts and then placed them in the trash.
Joking. I know she can hear me. Baby, I love you.
All right, dollar bet, over and under, couples therapy in less than a year. No, sure.
Don't root against me.
No, I think it's a good thing to do. I honestly think couples therapy is every relationship should have it.
Yeah, just not between podcast mates.
No, I ain't with that. It was fucking, that shit was dumb. Like, yeah, it saved that relationship. Fucking.
It might have down the road, but we'll see. All right,
Rory and Maul are off to bigger and better things. You see KD talk about him this morning or whatever. Let's keep going.
I saw it.
Yeah, that was cool. All right, so basketball happened again.
It did.
Whatever. The playoffs.
Lots of it.
Like, it's another update of the playoffs. We're gonna start off with the Lakers and Suns. That series is over. The Suns won.
Yeah.
K-Dot, who did what in terms of predictions?
Yeah, so James and Ryan nailed it. They had the Suns in 6.
Oh.
Whereas me and Keem both had the Lakers in 6, and it did not go according to plan. But when you have the second best player in the NBA,
I knew it.
you know,
Is he the second best player?
no, he's not. But he's definitely the best
Okay.
player on that team. I think at this point, at
He has
least.
come full circle.
Going into this, I was going into this last game with the Lakers Suns thinking that, like, look, this is LeBron's opportunity. Like, we kind of knew that the team, we've seen what this team is capable of without AD. They're not anything really, but AD given it a shot, you knew, even when you heard the injury, you knew that he's just not going to be able to do it. It was mainly just trying to run off a hype or anything that you could just see off the brick. He just couldn't fucking do anything.
What, 5 minutes?
5 minutes to 45 seconds, I think, that you lasted.
And barely that.
He came in with like the sickest fit, like he was about to ball out in this game and save the season.
Devin Booker pulled up.
And he took one step on the court. I was like, oh,
but
no.
I think it's now we're looking at it's father time. LeBron just couldn't hit the next gear that I was saying that you would see or hope that you could get maybe a game out of. But I also think this team and the way that they're built around him is just not as conducive to him winning as it would be. Like if they had Rajon Rondo was still on the team, I think they might have had a shot, just kind of facilitating. I get what you guys are saying. Like, it's hard for me to try to make any excuses for LeBron right now. I'm
the opposite of that. Like, it's not LeBron's fault at all because, I mean, the fucking outside of him and Marc Gasol, like, everybody else on the team shot less than 30% from three. The game is drive and kick. If he's kicking to open shooters and they're missing, it's not his fault. He can't score 100 points. Like, hey, we love Luka and everything, and he's going crazy right now. But if when Luka kicks it out and they miss the shots, the game that he had, that game 5 where he went crazy, like, and he like accounted for all, like what, like, I don't know, like 100 of their points. 37. Yeah, like 31 of their 37 baskets. Like, if they miss shots, it doesn't happen. Like, it's a make or miss game. It doesn't matter. So, I mean, it's just that I don't blame LeBron. I went into it thinking, you know, they would be a little bit more healthier than they were. Hey, that's fine. No excuses. They lost the game. It's not like it's a legacy game or some shit like that. But to Kadeem's point, which I completely agree with, you can tell, like, it's about that time for Bron. It's about that time. The last 2 out of the last 3 years, he's been hurt for longer spurts than he ever has in his career, and it's affected him. First year with the Lakers, no playoffs. Second year, Disney. Third, this year, hey, COVID, you know, a truncated season, all that stuff. But it's you can tell just how he plays. Like, he doesn't have the same lift. He's not getting the same power. He's not connecting on a little bit of those layups. Like, I saw Jay Crowder bring him down one time, and I'm like, oh.
Jay Crowder locked him down for like a good.
Jay Crowder danced on him.
Series.
That was great.
And then got ejected.
You can see it. You can see it where he would like come into the game and be like, they would take like a 7-2 lead because LeBron was just driving. He was getting the ball out. And then like halfway through the first quarter, I was like, oh shit, the Suns are up by 20. LeBron's still on the court? Like, what happened? He was just like, he comes out gangbusters and he just doesn't have the same physical presence after like 5 minutes. Like 5 years ago, he would dominate an entire game. He doesn't, I don't think he has it anymore.
LeBron's gonna stay until his son gets
no, because he earned that.
He's still good.
Yeah,
he's still a great player. But and to see the way that he has adapted and changed his game over time, it makes me think that, all right, there maybe there's another version of Bron we just haven't seen yet.
Yeah,
that he's gonna
shit with Jason Kidd. He did the same thing.
Yeah, I think he'll be like a big version of that. Like, as he continues to age, he'll be, I think, like, old Bron is 20, 10, and 6. Like, and you know, and like, I'm just the point guard. I'm just gonna direct y'all, like, kind of like what Rondo does, but like as someone who can shoot.
Yeah, more consistent than Rondo.
But there were portions of the game where they had the certain lineup with Gasol and stuff where it looked like they were coming back at least a little bit. But I will say this: as far as the Suns go, Devin Booker has arrived. He's here now. I don't think there's any more on the fence about it. I think that the big thing that you see in these playoffs are these there are certain guys that have been like on that list that the James had that was like top guys under the age of, what was it, 25, 30? And
I was
now you're
pissed off how low they had Devin
right.
Booker.
You're starting to see that, okay, there's a new dawn. And I think that with this, just from a symbolic standpoint, seeing Bron out in the first round, this is all right. We might be crossing into a new era. It's going to be Bron. It's going to be Warriors bringing it back with Clay, but I think it's something new now.
But this is the first time that LeBron has been out in the first round.
Yeah.
So he's currently 14-1 in
Yes.
first round series. So this was different.
This was a course correcting though.
Yeah. So let's go to the game that is near and dear to my heart. Like the Mavs Clippers game. Well, now on Sunday, you'll see this probably after. So hopefully we win. But Mavs play Sunday at like 3:30. It shouldn't be a game 7. But we played soft and we let Paul George just run into people and then get layups every time.
Like that pandemic pee on you? You like that pandemic pee on you?
Nah, I mean Paul George has been playing more, like he's been playing better. So
how you feel about Luka
Kawhi's
right
fucking crazy. Kawhi played nuts.
And that's what I needed to see from him.
And that's what I told. Like, I tweeted that fucker yesterday. I was like, Kawhi showed you how to do it. Like, but stop passing the fucking ball.
Yes.
If they're not making shots, you do it. Get to the fucking lane. You switch off and Reggie Jackson's on you, take his ass to the paint. I'm tired of seeing you just get double teamed at midcourt and then try to jump up and pass the ball to Porzingis, who hasn't done shit.
But that's the right play. They're just not playing. I mean, that's the right play.
The thing with Luka that I was saying was that he had the opportunities where he could have drove in. He didn't get rid of the rock, and when he got out of the rock, his movement was over. He's just chilling by half court.
Yeah, but I think he was tired.
It might have been. Like, I mean, he's been playing his ass off. Like, but I mean, shit. Paul George played 46 minutes. Just saying. But but Luka, it was just like when shit didn't go the way off the rip, it was just like he was out. He was stopped. Then how many times they're going? You got
what have I been saying?
Clippers going back down the court. Clippers going back down the court, and Luka's just looked lost in the fucking paint all by himself.
Or arguing with the refs.
There was a lot of that, and I don't know, man, because that's the thing is, like, during this series, I haven't seen Luka not just take it on. I think that it's got to be something he was tired or something, because it feels so different than what we've seen earlier in the series. This last game, to me, because I mean, the highlight reel you can have on him on fucking Pat Bev and everybody earlier on this thing was like, Luka's going to win this thing.
No,
and he played Pat Bev ass right off the court.
Yeah,
they
don't play him anymore.
Reggie Jackson now. No. Pat Bev, if Pat Bev is there for defense and he can't fucking handle Luka, what the fuck are you there for?
Mm-hmm.
Paycheck. He's there for a paycheck now. He's showed up to work every day.
But I did think the combo of Kawhi and some of the guys that they had on him, I mean, it's hard for me. I thought there's a certain element that was working, but then I also look and see that Luka just looked checked out. So I don't know how effective it was compared to it was just him stopping himself.
No, what I will say is, in terms of the Clippers defense, the last game, right? If you look at the start of the game and Luka got fouled on a jump shot, he made it, but he looked at the ref and he's like, they didn't call the foul. And he's like, the fuck is this? And then you see how they're allowing the Clippers to play more physical and not calling shit. And then once that happens, it's open season. They're gonna beat up on Luka. Kawhi can go in there and like fucking just push him and they're not gonna call shit.
Listen. This is Luka is, I think, gonna be the next like pyramid player, whatever you want to call it, GOAT type. I think he's next for that generation, right? This is his Jordan versus Pistons. Like he's getting it a little early. Like, and I think he'll probably go through it maybe a couple more years. But yeah, they're gonna beat up on him. He's a little young. He has to keep moving. He has to learn a lot more. Like as far as like to K-Dot's point, like you can't just once you know they double team you, you give it up. You got to move without the ball. He needs to watch some Steph tape. He needs to watch some Steph tape.
No, he need to rewatch what Kawhi did offensively in this game, because Kawhi didn't sit back. Like even if he got off the rock, he's running back towards the ball, saying, "Hey, no, look, give it back. Fuck it." He's
taking the shots.
that to me was just the aggression that you wanted to see from Luka. You saw from Kawhi last night, like completely. Like it was if Luka had just looked across the court and said, "I need to do what he's doing," we're probably looking at a different scenario.
And that's the difference between being top 5 and top 20.
Yep, and I need to also add, KP needs to do something offensively. Just a body. Like, and when we were playing zone and we had him and Boban back there, he was cutting the passing lanes. He did come up with some defensive plays. So respect to that. But we're paying you what, 140 million? Like,
Boban's looking good.
What's up? I mean, it went from being the Porzingis trade to the Tim Hardaway Jr. trade.
That's spicy.
It's true.
I want to talk about after the Clippers win this series. I do want to talk about. Hey man, I called it from the beginning. I said they will win, and it's going to be Clippers Nets, like I said, like I predicted. But I just want to say I want to talk about what a trade for Kristaps looks like.
Oh, to like trade him away?
Yeah, who would you target? Like if we can GM it, obviously not right now, but I would like to talk about that.
I've been thinking about this shit for the past year. I'm not even lying.
I believe you. We
had that conversation on this pod before about, is it time to move KP?
No, it is, but I just want to see
even before Giannis signed his deal, I was like, hey, if Giannis say he's not staying, send KP, Tim Hardaway Jr., Courtney Lee in his expiring contract over to Milwaukee. Like fucking two first round picks. Bring Giannis over here.
At this point, moving KP seems like it's more of a just getting your salary situation the way it needs to be. It's somebody that's gonna just take him to offload compared to actually getting anything in return for him at this point.
I mean, it's
like, what's his value?
He's in the same boat to me
very
as
tall
AD for this offseason. Here's why. Don't give me that look. Here's why. I'm not talking about in terms of the ability to play. There is something that him and AD are doing in the offseason for the reason why they're fucking hurt all the time. You shouldn't be hurt this much.
I just think some people have weak bones, to be honest. I'm serious.
Drink milk. More milk.
AD's frame shouldn't be getting as hurt as it is.
AD's doing something.
I'll disagree with you on that because he had a point guard's frame until like senior year of high school, and
then he just shot up.
Went crazy. Like he just went crazy. Like he was little. You know what I'm saying? Like he was.
I see what you're saying.
He's been tall for a minute.
He needs to do more squats. His base is weak.
It's when you're like the tall, lanky guy. Like I get that. Like you're past a certain point. You're just moving that much weight, that much height on those joints. It's whatever. But I don't know. It's just I don't see any value. I get that. I think there's something that needs to be adjusted regardless. But I just don't see any value in KP right now. I don't. I
think I was going to compare him to Wiggins.
Forte defense. And then it's like, and his offense is coming along.
Oh, you saying KP is Wiggins?
Yeah, he's Wiggins. Big contract, ton of upside, like ton of potential, and has talent, but he's not worth whatever his contract is paying.
But I'm also thinking about the injury history.
Yeah, so he might be worse than Wiggins.
That's what I'm saying. I think Wiggins right now looks upshot compared to KP. Is like, how often am I going to get him on the court?
Yeah, but they're similar in that I meant in that, like, hey, it's, these guys are at one point were highly touted and they have potential that maybe they can be good role players now.
Yeah, but KP is almost a liability at this point.
KP is supposed to be a number two, and he's not playing.
Yeah, if you're a number two, you can't play, and when you do play, you look like a statue. You're just a liability. So
yeah,
and he runs in for dunks from the baseline like twice a game, and that's 4 of his 8 points.
Before I wanted to run down where we're all standing as far as the predictions and the playoff stuff. And then maybe we can go on to the next series that's playing. So right now what I did was I awarded 1 point if you got the winner of the series correct, and another point if you got it if you got the number of games correct. So leading up is Keem with 8 points.
Of course.
Next up is Ryan with 7 points. Just what?
That's a surprise.
That's a huge surprise. And then me and James were rocking up last in 6 points. Now, right now, the only series that's left of this round is the Mavs Clippers that we just discussed. Everyone except James has the Clippers. Issue is we don't have the number of games for Keem and Ryan, so they could get one more point, but that's it. And then me, I had the Clippers in 6, so I'm out on that. But we could all get the Clippers and then leave James behind in last place in the
what happens if the Mavericks win?
If the Mavericks win,
it won't happen.
You have the Mavs in 6, so you only get 1 point, which means you'll leave me behind. Okay. And you'll tie with Ryan.
I know. I just wanted to.
Yeah, I just want you to know. I get it. I just want you to understand how much he's riding on this Mavs game and how much more disappointment you should
be. Honest, like at this point, I don't give a shit.
Call Porzo and do it, yo.
Because looking at how this team has performed, that there's a lot of holes that I see potential for, like to be fixed, but it's just up for the team to do it.
I mean, your key
Tim Hardaway Jr. is coming up on a contract year, right? Yeah. Like he needs to be resigned. We need to move KP if he's not going to produce.
Oh, well, you want to keep him for the contract year because guys always go crazy in that contract year. You just don't want to resign him. You just, keep him for that contract year. Let his he'll go. I promise you, he's going to average. I promise you, he'll average like 24 and 11 next year. No, if it's a contract year.
No, I think this might be his contract year.
Oh, if this is it? Oh, he trashed, man.
I don't think KP's built that way. If
I'm not talking about KP. I'm talking about Tim Hardaway Jr.
Oh,
okay. KP got a couple years left. We signed him when we traded for him.
I liked Hardaway, man. I like him. I like Hardaway. He's just that whole mentality is. Yeah, I that's a dude that I think on that team could really be something. One of those guys that have been around he'll be around for a while and just kind of. I really liked what I saw.
He's a free agent. I like 2021.
Yeah, he's great value, Brad Beal.
He's a free agent. 2021.
Great value, Brad Beal. I like that.
No, he made his money. If we go out tomorrow, he made his money already.
He's gonna get paid. He didn't make too much.
No, he ain't make max, but he made money.
Like don't pay that man 20 now.
let's not forget everyone was getting max deals. So
yeah,
that's like Otto Porter Jr. got a max deal, lest we forget. So
that sucks for y'all. Y'all paid sick. Otto Porter Jr. Then y'all paid Bertans right after.
Woo!
All right, so we also
moving on.
All right, so Nuggets and Blazers.
Fair,
right? Dame Lillard did what he could.
Man. I didn't even have a watch because he stole it because it's game time.
You know what? The reason why I didn't watch Game 5 was because the night before, Dame Lillard took the Blazers into double overtime, and wife was mad, so I couldn't watch Game 5.
You gotta pick your battles, man. Pick your battles.
I was grass eating line over here.
That's a compromise. Worth it.
Yeah, I mean, but we won Game 5, so whatever.
Did you say you're a grass eating line?
Yeah, it's a phrase.
Yeah, Kevin Samuels.
No, that's him.
Yeah, he said that.
Oh shit! All right, can you cut that too?
Nah, we'll keep that one.
We'll keep that.
I didn't know it was from him. I got it from Ish.
Ish said it. Well, yeah, Ish repeated when Kevin said it because Kevin said it when they did the interview.
All right. Well, All right. So,
okay, Mr. Vegetarian Line, what you got to say?
Dame Lillard did what he does. It's Dame time, and the rest of the team didn't show up. Just like with LeBron.
CJ McCollum was garbage.
Yeah. He's been like CJ is usually there. He just wasn't this time. So I don't really have that big of an issue with CJ.
I disagree.
Okay.
I have a huge issue with CJ, but not.
I was so angry watching Dame and CJ had a whole.
Not CJ as a person or a player. I have an issue with the GM keeping him around. And I say that, or you could keep him around. But I tweeted this, but I'll say this. My issue is Dame was never, ever going to see with this supporting cast. Like, let's be real. Like, it's miraculous that he's even made a Western Conference Finals. He doesn't have another All-Star. He hasn't had another All-Star player since he played with LaMarcus Aldridge. And he is too talented too talented to not have a better supporting cast. He can't. CJ McCollum on a title team cannot be your second best player. It's impossible.
So is he like Chris Middleton?
Yes, similar to like Chris Middleton, but Chris Middleton's better. He's at least an all-star, and he's good. Like even if he's having a bad game offensively, he can contribute defensively. Like CJ McCollum it's buckets or nothing. It's buckets or nothing.
I'll say they're about the same because like Middleton's in the East.
My comparison to CJ has always been the worst, a less good version of DeMar DeRozan when he was with Kyle Lowry in Toronto, which is all right. He might be your bud, he might be your friend, Lillard. He might be somebody that makes it okay to come to work every day. He might be somebody that you want to potentially like say that you guys can win something together. But there's going to reach a point where you need to fucking let it go. And I think that comes to a GM being able to be strong enough to do it and just say, hey, we need to move on from this because we've reached our peak.
I have a counter to that. I like that. But I have a counter to it. I think he's a better version of Larry Hughes.
All right. That's better because DeRozan doesn't shoot threes at all.
Hughes.
He shoots and makes like 10 a year.
I'm talking about more of just the way that we're talking about a player,
the
what it means for the franchise and the relationship.
All right, so then
because I think that's the only thing that's keeping him around.
How about the Blazers trade CJ McCollum and whatever else to the Clippers for Kawhi, sign and trade? If Kawhi's leaving anyway.
That instantly upgrades the Blazers, but
if they're gonna lose Kawhi, why not get CJ McCollum in return?
If you're the Clippers that want to do that.
I don't know if the Clippers would want to do that because I mean it's CJ McCollum.
Yeah,
right. We're not talking I think CJ McCollum is super talented. He's
you don't have a choice.
Not an all
NBA player. Leaving. Would you rather him leave for nothing or get CJ McCollum in return?
I think he's not going to leave because they're going to win the championship. That's just me.
They ain't winning shit.
Okay.
I do think the Clippers kind of flipped the switch this last game, but I think it's more about. I think it's more about
the refs flipped the damn switch. They let him play rough house defense.
Look, it's what I always say about Kawhi is
that goes both ways.
Kawhi to me is
we didn't do it.
Kawhi is not the rah guy, and there are no rah guys really on the team. And I think
it's Pat Beverly.
Which I think is after Luka snatched his soul, it's kind of hard to look at that guy and be like, but I think Kawhi, what he does is that he ain't even like Steph or anybody that like when he's in that and he's shimmying Kawhi's just in a zone. Mm-hmm. He's in a quiet zone. Leave the man alone. Let him do his thing. He can focus now. And and maybe that carries him to a certain degree if everybody just in that mode of just like, all right, he's the Terminator. We just got to fucking like follow his lead through this. But I think it's hard. It's hard. It's hard in 7-game series to be locked in the zone like that extendedly. I think usually you got to kind of build off of energy. You might come back and forth in it, which is the only reason I'm like not as high on the Clippers right now is that I still think they need somebody that can lead the rest of that locker room. But I don't know if I'm looking at it. Look, Dame did everything you could buy. That is regardless of whether or not they lost the series. Everyone will remember where they were during that double overtime game. That was a moment. It's a fucking historical moment. Which is the reason I had the Blazers in 7 is that I was just like, look, you give Dame enough chance, he's gonna do it. And when you saw it was just like, fuck. Everything he had in that game. It was, and nobody else is there to help.
I'm interested now to see where they go with the coaching search. I saw the report from Yahoo that Dame wants Jason Kidd. I'm kind of on the fence with Jason Kidd. I thought some of the stuff he was trying to do in Milwaukee was good, with like have a lot of guys that are long, size, height. Like defensively, it was smart when he was doing it at the time. Like I was like, oh man, he's got Michael Carter Williams, he's got Chris Middleton, Giannis. Like everybody in the fucking lineup was like at least 6'6". Like they'll destroy people defensively. Mm-hmm. They didn't have enough shooting or whatever, but still. So I'm interested to see what Jason Kidd does. He's a smart player. I saw they were looking at Chauncey too. Now that I would be very interested in. But it really, even getting a new coach for Portland, in my opinion, doesn't really matter again, because if the roster is just going to be this, hey, maybe they'll go to the Western Conference Finals again. Like, cool. But they just need a better roster, some more retooling. I don't know. I'd have to look at it, who they could go out there and get. But the roster isn't good enough. So you need to fire the GM too.
Yeah, I like your point about the GM, because if you look at their small forward position, it's been a lot of stopgaps. So,
yes.
like, yeah, like I was looking at some of the players playing. I'm like, I ain't heard your name in like 2 years.
They always get the cast-offs. They get the cast-offs.
Yeah.
Dame
Yeah.
Lillard to the Knicks. Come on.
All right. So if you had to
I'd like
pick
to see
me,
Jimmy
like, free agent,
Butler
who
and
would you
Dame
have on the
on the same
Blazers?
I would like to see. Huh?
You said
What'd
what?
say?
I said I'd like to see Butler and Dame on the same team.
I agree with that.
Whoa.
Oh no, your internet.
Well, it's on his. He's recording it, so it'll
Yeah.
look fine.
Okay. All right. So, but how would that even work though?
I'm not saying I logistically have no idea, but I'm saying that like if I'm just looking at if there are two guys that could actually make something happen just based off of energy, like I love the idea of seeing them two working together. I don't know if it happens. I don't know if Miami's in a place where everybody wants to leave after this year. Everybody runs it back. I don't know what their situation is. I'm saying that Miami has a lot of different pieces that can be possibly moved around depending on what it is they want to do. I don't know where the Blazers sit as far as their capital. I mean, if we're looking at tradable assets, it's everyone except Dame. I don't know. I don't know. I look at three franchises.
Whiteside still on that team, or is he in Sacramento?
I didn't hear you.
Whiteside, Hassan Whiteside, is he in Sacramento or
I
in
think so.
Portland?
I think so because I haven't seen him, which makes me think that he's in Sacramento. But there are three franchises that I think
He's
that
in
I'm
Sacramento.
looking at, and I'm like they're going to be in positions that they really need to retool. Is Toronto, Miami, and I think the Blazers. I think that you're going to see a lot of things happening. I think there are a lot of teams that got to make moves, but I'm saying that I think you're going to see something dramatic with those three teams.
They'll probably go out the
KP
deal
might
with
be
Lamelo.
moved.
Huh?
KP might be gone. That's dramatic.
I think that it's not as dramatic as you think it is. I think right now at this particular point in stage in KP's career, after what's happened after he left New York, the disappointment that he's been, I don't think it's a big move anymore.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. All right. So, Keem, you kind of touched on this a little bit. Terry Stotts is out. That kind of surprised me because I didn't hear anything in regards to that being possible. But like as I thought about it more, it kind of makes sense. And Keem, what did you text back?
It was inevitable. Like this shit should have happened sooner. Like, and it's no diss to Terry Stotts because I think he's a good coach too. But again, from the GM to the top I think this probably should have happened about 2 years ago. And just like to get because Dame's 30 now. It should have happened when he was 28, and then to help him retool and everything. But like I said, I'm with Chauncey. I'm all for Chauncey like taking over. I wanted Chauncey to like take over a team for so long. I love him. I think he has a good basketball mind. Mr. Big Shot, when he was doing, studio stuff, I think he always offered like good, valuable insight. It wasn't like senseless stuff. Like he always made like actual good points, and he wasn't just there for fodder.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Chauncey would be a good step up for them. But again, like I said, it just depends on the roster that you put around them because you can put at least a better roster around.
I would say Stotts was a good first step, but they got they got a clean house. Like there's just too many mistakes being made.
Portland's reached the peak of whatever they're going to be. The reason I keep going back, I think I keep hitting the Toronto thing. The Toronto thing is the way I felt when they had Kyle Lowry and those guys is that you've seen the most that they're going to do without having to shake it up. And I think that there is a peak that you can get with a roster you have, and you're not going to get beyond that regardless of how many. You can change the variables as much as you want to. You got to retool it. There's got to be some fundamental changes.
When you just said that, it reminded me. So here are the two people that Portland could get, potentially. You go after Pascal Siakam, and you go after Bradley Beal. And now with that, if those are your 2 and your 3, Dame has a chance.
If that's your 2 and 3, you are now in the conversation for Western Conference.
Exactly.
You're in it.
Exactly.
You're in it. Because I put that roster up, and I'll say they can take on the Clippers. I don't know who's going to win that series, but they can take them on. I can say if Clay comes back and the Warriors are where they're at, I think the Warriors might be a step above, but that's going to be how does Clay look when he's back? They are in the conversation. Too bad Bradley Beal's not going to goddamn place. Go ahead.
Also, if the Mavs win tomorrow, I think Kawhi opts out.
I do too.
And
I think he leaves.
I think he's gone.
Does he go?
I think he walks off the court if they're down like 20.
Miami.
I think he walks off the court faster than LeBron did, and he's already on a flight to Miami.
Me and Ryan are on the same page. He goes to Miami. He said like his first option was Jimmy. he wanted to play with Jimmy.
Mhm.
Like not Paul. He wanted to play with Jimmy. Paul was second. It was Jimmy. He goes straight. He calls Pat, said, "Hey, like, we gonna get Hero out of here or what? Like, what we doing? Like, is Hero staying or is he going? Like, I'm coming either way, but like, what we doing with him?"
Yeah, he's like,
Go to
I don't even
Dallas.
like Los Angeles. That's why I live in San Diego. I'm good with Miami. I'll keep my
Is
house.
Washington completely out of the conversation?
Yes.
I'm saying I know that there's bias. That's why I was hesitant in asking the question.
Keem's face.
I'm just
Why
saying
did you ask that?
Leonsis is going to go into luxury tax. Or at least he's going to try to this season, this upcoming year. Like, he gave the go ahead. It looks like. I mean, if you're Kawhi, like, do it once.
No.
Like,
No.
yeah. I mean,
I'm
we
in
know they're
DC.
not as talented.
And
not
I
as
don't want to be in DC. I don't like it here.
Is Beal big enough draw? Like, do you
No.
want to play with Beal more than you want to play with Paul George?
No.
I mean, I'm sure Bradley Beal is more fun to play with than Paul
Yeah.
George. But if I'm Kawhi and I'm sitting there,
At least Paul George plays.
I'm
better.
robotic, and I'm like, need to win championship. I'm going to Miami.
I got a sneaky feeling that you got. I don't know. It's
A
something.
sneaky feeling.
It's
I got-
weird.
I
It's,
got a-
I'm telling you,
I got
it's
a
weird. I'm
deeper
not.
feeling.
Listen to me. Listen to
Hell.
me. I'm not that guy. when
You're
it
being a
comes to Wizards.
homer.
I'm not that guy when it comes to Wizards. I'm never that guy when it comes to Wizards.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Maybe it's my first time. Maybe it's my first time. But I got a suspicion that the Wizards.
How
about
much
to
did y'all
do
get
something crazy.
Bertans?
We can still afford to do something. It's just a matter of we could still definitely. We've not gone on luxury tax for 40 fucking years. Like, we
Not
can
fair. How much did you give him?
100 and 900.
more than we needed to.
I got
That wasn't
another
a-
one. I got
That
another
man
one.
had
for
0
Portland.
point 0 rebounds, 0 assists.
80s.
I got one more for Portland.
six fouls.
There's this guy in Minnesota. Go get him.
Russell? Towns?
He's not a
Towns.
cat.
Towns.
He needs.
There's been a lot of chatter about that Minnesota was gonna trade basically everybody except Anthony Edwards this offseason. So if you do that, if they do that, go get Towns.
Oh, they didn't
Hey,
even.
Towns for AP. Let's
They
go.
didn't even give Bertans
AP.
as much
Hey,
as
they
they
can do
thought.
that too. That'd be good. I love to see Towns with Luka. That's
Uh,
everything.
Do you say Towns for KP? And what?
Nothing.
I mean, it'd have to be a lot more. It'd have to be- it'd have to
And
be a lot
what?
Nothing.
So they only gave Bertans 80 over 5 years. That's
Okay.
not a huge contract at all.
Still not a good one.
No, none of them sound good. But when you're giving
It's
max,
16 million a year.
I still go back to the Otto Porter Jr. Supermax deal. Look, anything after that looks great. Like, they could have given Bertans 100, and I'd be like, yeah, but Otto Porter Jr. You're
Nah, fam. Don't cut off my arm and be like, oh, this time I only took a finger. Fuck that.
No, I mean, at least I got 4 fingers.
The Wizards have a pretty good roster. Fuck you.
Okay.
I like the
All
Wizards
right,
roster.
so let's
I
move
think
on
we're
to
moving
another
on.
series. The Nets and Celtics. Not
Yeah.
really. Like, I wasn't really that interested in the series in itself. I just want to talk about the shit that happened after the series. Really.
So Danny Ainge is out. He's retiring he's not retired. He's just leaving this position, which means
No,
he'll
Danny
pop up
Ainge-
somewhere
Then he's retired.
from that position, but he's gonna pop up somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
gonna pop up somewhere else. He wants to continue working. Brad Stevens is out as coach and in at Danny Ainge's former position. Which the more and more I thought about it, the more I'm realizing that I know that I initially got emotional in saying how it was a promotion after Brad Stevens had not done enough. I think this is Boston trying to hold on to Brad Stevens however it is they can. And I think it's one of these things where maybe if everybody knows behind the scenes, Brad Stevens is supposed to be a big time family guy. And it's one thing as far as like being in the bubble away from everybody. Then there's all the moving around. It's just apparently because of how much of a family guy he is, it's just hard on him. You can see he's just not built the same way that some other dudes are. It's just, I get it.
That's fine.
But Brad Stevens he was supposed to be like the phenom, like the guy, he's this new, just incredible mind as far as basketball goes. And I think you have the Celtics saying like, hey man, we don't want you to pop back up in 2 years wanting to be coach again and not for us. Oh, how about we just give you this other position? Maybe we hire some other guys behind you. I think that's how it's going to go. I don't know what they're going to do as far as the head coaching position, but I just think this is Boston trying to hold on to Brad Stevens, knowing that Brad was willing to walk away from being the coach.
You think he'll pull an 06 Pat Riley and basically build a team, and then when they're good, like fire the coach, and then just be like, well, I guess I'll coach.
I think because of what Boston did, they just gave him as much power as Pat Riley basically had, and to be able to do that. Because I mean, right now the Boston Celtics are kind of they're laying out a red carpet for Brad. Like it's a big deal. Like I don't know how much power he's gonna have as far as some of these decisions. Maybe it's gonna be a part of a committee. Maybe he doesn't have carte blanche like Pat did. But it just seems as though they're gonna do everything they can to make him happy.
It's like I've seen this before. I think I know how this ends.
Yeah, I don't have much on this outside of that they're saying that I read some reports that Danny Ainge would be interested in going to Portland. And so, like I was saying with the GM job, hey, you can say a lot of shit about Danny Ainge, but he kept Boston contending, and he kept even when they were rebuilding, it was a smart rebuild. And so I don't know if he's like that guy, but I mean, I think he'd be better. He'd be an upgrade for Portland.
The Celtics had a lot of injuries, and they came up against the Nets, so it's not like they're not like a bad team even as they sit right now. They're they're not going to win the East, but they're a decent team.
Well, they did.
Danny Ainge to me has been a disappointment. Danny Ainge has been a disappointment for that franchise. He has a championship, but that was only because KG and them graced him with their fucking presence. It wasn't him. Like what he did as far as before that. You had the Celtics as far as what they were building. It was the Paul Pierce, Antoine Walker years. And it was when they decided they were going to move on from Walker is when they threw, because they had spent so much trying to build a team with those two. And they always capped. And it was, all right, what other pieces are we going to put together with these two? It wasn't until basically the entire band said, fuck it, we're going to go to Boston to make this shit happen. It kind of fell in his lap.
It's not like the Heat, when the Heat got the Bosh and Wade. It was different. Like Ray Allen, he put off the Ray Allen trade. He's made some good moves. He's made some questionable ones too. I get that completely, but I credit him for keeping Boston in contention. I mean, just as a Lakers fan, they went through an entire drought with going with not to the playoffs, and so Ainge was okay, we're gonna rebuild. Sent off the big three. Got all the assets. Where my issue with Ainge comes in is that he can't draft for fucking shit for the most part. And outside of that. He'll get you draft picks. He'll get you some good veterans. He'll help you build. But hey, let somebody else make the picks.
Yeah, I mean, delegate.
It's about time they moved on, though, because I mean, if you're looking at the pressure in Boston is different than other towns, especially the pressure of the last 20 years is different in Boston than it is in other towns. If you're looking at, you have the Patriots have how many championships? If you look across town and you see the fucking you see the Red Sox finish their drought. And now they have won. It's just when you look at the team that's supposed to be the team in that town is the team that everybody's kind of what the fuck? You can see the crowd and everything is just not happy with the way that things are going as far as in Boston. I kind of expected that they were going to move on from Ainge a few years back. I really did.
But it's up 1-1, right?
They've won 3 in the last 20.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Red Sox after it fucked their first. Oh, God, I fucking hate that team.
All the teams in Boston right now though are kind of trash, which kind of makes me happy.
They're kind of I think they're retooling for the most part, but I mean, there's a lot, especially GM wise. There's just a lot of guys that have been the guy, like Theo Epstein, fucking Scott Pioli. All these guys have been in Danny Ainge in that territory. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. Shit, the more I'm learning about Theo Epstein and what he's been doing, what he did, and what how they're using his analytics in soccer in Europe is blowing my mind. But that's something that I've actually started digging into.
So let's move on to the other part.
I'm a Liverpool fan.
The fuck?
Yeah, I think I'm getting into it. I know that's big news, but continue.
I like Liverpool, but I'm as a FIFA person.
All right, we'll talk about this shit later. All right, so outside of that, Kyrie's final game in Boston for this season, at the end of the game, he walked to center court, stepped on Lucky, who was the mascot of the Celtics. And then as he was walking back, that's when he got the water bottle thrown at him, right?
Yeah.
We saw the backlash in terms of the fan throwing the water bottle and all that shit. But KG made a post saying, I hope you guys didn't miss the fact that he stepped on like Lucky or whatever the fuck he said in regards to it. He's like, that shit don't fly, all this other bullshit. And then Big Baby Davis chimed in as well, saying like, it got down to the point where it's like, hey, you want to fight? Like, you doing that shit, you want to fight? And all this other shit. So, KG, what the fuck are you doing? And Big Baby Davis, fuck you. You barely played there. Like, the fuck? Like, what?
You know,
It's a fucking sticker on the court.
You know, that's my problem with people like KG. And like, cause he fake tough. Like, he
done shit
a
way
certain
worse.
level of tough. And like, but like, he need his ass beat. Kind of like Joe Budden. Like, he need his ass beat. Like, fam, what are you talking about, bro? Like, this isn't a thing. Like, who cares? Like, where's Zach Randolph? Where is Zach Randolph? Please come talk to KG. Like, that's all I got for you. Like, where is Zach Randolph? Go talk to KG.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. We've gotten way too comfortable with saying shit online, where back in the day you'd have to say that shit in person and get punched in the face for saying it. So, it's just people are soft.
KG loved you in fucking Uncut Gems. Amazing. Outside of that,
phenomenal.
Big Baby was on the receiving end of so much bashing from KG that it made him cry.
Also,
so
I want to add
Big
something.
Baby is just, if you're still afraid of KG, blink 3 times. It's okay. Outside of that,
but fuck KG though.
He's also
about Tim Duncan.
Honey Nut Cheerios and the Tim Duncan thing. Sam Cassell, Andre Villanueva, like how much do you want us to go? Like, you've got no room to tell anybody what is okay and not okay to do or to say. You've got nothing. Like, I'll listen to it from some people. I can understand if you're a player getting upset when another player does it. Same thing in football. If you're dancing on the fucking logo, if somebody comes in and rocks your ass, cool. I get it. It's part of the player thing. Not you, though. Not fucking you. You have lost all ability to tell anybody what is okay and not okay to fucking do.
I want to add something
across
else.
every line.
And it's in Boston of all places. Like, fuck Boston. So,
also, Danny Ainge, you never seen racism in Boston? Shut the fuck up.
Right. Like,
wait,
has
he walked down any public street in Boston?
He fucking played
so
there.
Full of shit.
He's heard the shit.
He's so full of shit.
All right. So fuck Boston. Whatever. Didn't Bill Russell say like he hates like going back to Boston, like to see the Celtics as all the shit that they gave him?
Boston is San Francisco with snow and racism. That's all it is. Okay, it's my second favorite city in America. I'm not gonna deny that, but it is fucking snow and racism. It's a fucking weird city.
Yeah. All right. So Hawks and Knicks. Trey the Truth. Ice Trey took a bow.
I was wrong.
Madison Square Garden.
We all picked the Knicks.
Like, I know, but goddamn.
But I'm from Georgia. And I love this shit. I love it. I love it.
You should be ashamed.
Good for you, Trey. Good for you, Trey.
Hey.
He's going to come back with the new LeBron hair next year.
Nah,
I don't know what he's gonna
Trey,
do.
I think about that damn meme where it's the wet lollipop with hair on.
So good. So goddamn good. Yeah, I mean,
cooked him though. Hey, he cooked him.
Cooked.
Yeah.
And also, Julius, where'd you go, bud? Where'd you go that whole series?
I don't think he's the number one.
Where are you? Where?
But he never was. He never was.
True, but they brought him to New York, so he could be.
You can't play.
They brought him to New York because nobody wants to play with for the fucking Knicks.
I know, and then he became the number one for the Knicks
when he was a free agent.
Yeah,
he was their number one, but he's not a number one.
He was playing so well leading up, and then Trey just got in his head, and he played like absolute trash. Like he went from like, I don't know, like here he was going that direction, and then he was trending up, and now I don't know where he's at. And he's got to regroup this offseason because That was one of the
They need a number
worst
one.
performances
They
I've ever
need
seen.
number one.
It was nice seeing Derrick Rose actually.
Yeah.
Doing
And he
what he's
showed up.
doing. And he showed
Yeah,
up.
and
I really enjoyed seeing that.
He played really well.
Lakers
And
should have got him when they had a chance.
he gave Trey his jersey at the end of the series.
But Trey, fuck you. Reason I'm saying fuck you is because you want to be a villain, and I'm helping you out. Fuck you, Trey.
Yeah, I hate Trey Young.
No.
I love him.
No.
He's so fun.
I don't think he was a villain.
Yeah.
He wants
He
to
was
be
only
a
a villain to Knicks fans.
He want, but
Right.
you can see him soaking that up. He liked it. He likes
fuck
that.
that.
energy.
Likes
I
that
would too. I
They
would
spat on
too.
him.
No, there's a certain
He's styled on him.
He's getting some Atlanta on him. This is Andre at the Source Awards. Like this is
South got something to say.
Yo, got some. But I look, he can learn a little more from Andre. Andre just going to do his thing and like look around and be like, all right, he ain't gonna soak it up. I just think Trey's got to find that balance. There's a certain Southern hospitality where you just like,
Let him be Reggie Miller 2.0.
Nah, what
he's giving
Kendrick
Reggie
say?
Miller vibes.
What did Kendrick
That's what I'm
Lamar
saying.
say?
Spike
I
right
can't
there.
fake humble just because your ass is insecure. Don't fake humble. Talk that shit. Talk that shit.
Bye-bye, Spike.
I like
Send his
it.
ass home. All right.
Basketball's better than the Knicks are good. Just saying.
Well, they were good, and then they get the ass beat in the playoffs. Cool.
But fuck James Dolan.
Last one, since you two guys are here. Sixers Wizards.
I called it.
Anything y'all want? Like, what's next for the Wizards? Besides getting Kawhi or whatever else you guys think is going to
Getting
happen?
Kawhi.
We're rounding it back to much of my disappointment. Scott Brooks looks like he's probably going to come back, and which I'm just very upset about. But Brad wants to stay, and he also wanted Scott to come back. Russ wants to stay. He also wants Scott Brooks to come back. I think this team has a few pieces as far as some of the young guys that I'm really interested in seeing where they go. I don't think that we are contenders in any way, shape, or form until we really shore up some stuff defensively. I think Denny Avdia, if he didn't get hurt, was trending upwards in a really, really nice way, especially on the defensive side of the rock.
Really?
Rui, I think Rui can be a solid number 3 in this league. I really do.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I could just sense the sarcasm come off.
I mean, really,
Hey man, they got a great roster, man. I love them.
Shut up.
Yeah.
It's
And they can all play defense.
In game-
they're all
I just
good.
said that. You can't fuck off. Just fuck you.
In game 5, I would.
Worry about your Clippers, you cocksucker. We're home.
I don't
We're
have
chilling. We're wearing fucking
don't
Havana
like the
shirts
Clippers.
because we chilling. All right,
We go-
it's
we-
good. It's all
Yeah.
right.
We going to Fogo.
1, 2, 3,
Fogo.
Cancun.
It's Fogo to Chow night, bitch. That's what I'm on. All right, it's
Nah,
Brazilian
all right.
steakhouse night tonight.
Nah, but right now you dress like you're going to the park to give candy to children.
That'd be a trench coat. I say what my style is Tony Soprano loungewear. That's what I go for. Is I want to be comfortable, but I also want people to know I'll stab you in the goddamn throat. Like it's just stay away from me. I'm
Is it the
fun.
palm-
Stay the fuck away from me.
Is it the palm trees that denotes that you'll like stab someone, or is it like
Yeah.
the pine? Like what is it?
No, it's the kind of formality of the white stripes right there.
It's the knife or the gun I keep on me. Leave me the fuck alone.
I
right.
I would just say that Rui, I think, was the best player for the Wizards during game 5. I will also say that I called the Wizards winning one because it was the worst possible
did too.
outcome for the Wizards, and my worst fears have been realized, which means Scott Brooks is going to be back. They're going to make I want them to make big changes. Keep the core. I don't know if Bertans needs to retire or what he needs to do, but my fear is that they're not going to make big enough moves to make any actual waves next year. So we're going to have another wasted season. Russ going to be like 35 and Brad Beal's going to be like 31 or 32. And then by the time we know it, both of them are out of the league and we're rebuilding again. So cool.
Do you
All right.
guys want to do picks real quick? 'Cause
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
All right. So there's 3 games that are already like set in stone. The first one we have is the Nuggets versus the Suns. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Nuggets in 7.
Okay. Who else?
I got Suns in 7.
It's going to 7. It just feels like that. Shit. We're gonna go Suns. I think Booker just hit another level. I don't know.
Suns and what?
7.
Okay. I'm gonna go Suns and 6.
I'm with Ryan and James. I don't like that.
No, I went 7.
picked the
James went
Nuggets.
6. I did not.
He picked
Oh
the
no,
Suns.
you did. You picked the Suns. My bad. All right. Bucks and Nets. I have the Bucks and 6.
What?
Nets and 7.
Okay.
Ugh.
Bucks and 7.
Okay.
Oh, maybe I'm way off base here again, but I got Nets and 6.
Okay. I mean,
It could be Nets at 5. I don't know.
I think I'm just. I honestly think I'm riding this hot hand with Milwaukee because I didn't really expect them to look this good.
I said it before, the addition of Drew Holiday.
No, I know going into but seeing them in this first, it's just they've taken off. Like they're that much better, and I think they're built for the playoffs in a way that I didn't expect them to be. And Middleton has stepped up, and I just think they're really, really good.
All right. Last one is Hawks and Sixers. Keem?
Sixers. With the caveat, if Embiid's
caveat.
We have to know what's happening with Embiid. I'm not comfortable making a pick unless I don't know what happened with Embiid.
Like if Embiid's healthy, Sixers and 6. If he's not, Hawks and 6. But I'm just get me a Sixers and 6. I think it's gonna be Sixers and 6.
Keem? K-Dot?
Once again, beholden on Embiid.
Just look, if Embiid is hurt or some shit, we can change it the next episode. For right now, from what you know, who are you picking?
Sixers and 5.
Okay.
I think even if Embiid comes back, there's no way he's 100%. And they're not going to risk their superstar. So I got Hawks in 7.
Okay.
It's a slight meniscus tear. Like I really want to know like where is it? I need to know like is the cartilage there? Like is it not there? Is it rubbing up against something? Because he could play. If it's just a light meniscus thing, he could still play full tilt. I just don't know what's happening as far as meniscus.
All right.
It's not an injury.
Also, Clippers and 6 over Jazz.
That's fucking rude, bro.
I could throw this fucking pin at you.
It's happening. It's happening.
Not fucking happening.
I can't.
Okay.
I can't wait wait to text you tomorrow and be like.
But we all got our same picks on that. Clippers,
dumbass.
Clippers, Mavs. Got it.
Yeah. All right.
I'm okay being wrong. I forgot how much I hate Kawhi. I don't like his face.
No, Kawhi is cool.
I don't like his face.
All right.
About to
Keem,
say
I know
John
you gotta go,
Connor.
right?
Yeah, I gotta go.
All right.
All right, brother.
We'll save Osaka for later. Do you have final thoughts?
No, because my stuff was just the Terry Stotts stuff. That was my stuff.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go, Keem. We'll see you. Let's talk. Let's do some Osaka talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Appreciate you guys. See you.
Love you, man. Take care.
See you, man.
And it's
And you can
just the
edit in
three
there,
of
right?
us.
All right, cool. So
just the three of us.
you done?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Like there's always some sort of singing every fucking episode. All right.
This is like my church.
Yeah, we're still keeping up the pace.
All right. So we're gonna go with the final topic that we have for today is big news in the tennis world. Osaka withdrew from the French Open after like all the discussions. Like, I'm not gonna say like it was all backlash, but just the discussions that came up from her decision not to speak with the media. And then she was like, "Hey, at this point, I think it's best for me just not to participate anymore for this tournament, and so everybody else can focus on the game and not me." And then she said that she's going to take some time away, and then when she comes back, she's hoping to speak with the powers that be to make it a better experience for the players, the media, and the fans. So when you guys heard this news, what did you think?
I watch a lot of tennis because it's usually on when I'm at work. And you can tell she doesn't feel comfortable talking in front of people just off the break, even when she won, you could tell that she's, you know, probably like introverted, shy, she's comfortable on the big stage, obviously, when she's locked in, but it's just she's not comfortable speaking publicly. And look, she's really young. And I don't fault her for making this decision at all. Look, if there's a part of your job that you really don't like or you're uncomfortable with, you have two options. You either work around it, work through it, and you take some time off, maybe, you know, you go and do some public speaking events or whatever it is that you need to do. Or maybe she can get this changed where it's not, maybe she can do it via written letter, or I don't know, but like it makes her so uncomfortable that it affects her game. And that's what she's there to do, right? So look, I know that we see this with UEFA, all the, you know, governing bodies of sports are just super douches when it comes to the mental health of their players. They're like, well, this is the way it's always been, so this is the way it must be, and it will never change. Look, I hope this brings, you know, some change, because she's one of the top tennis players in the world. Like, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be her. So I fully support her decision. Look, I get it's part of her job description to talk to the media, but if it makes one of your top competitors uncomfortable to the point where she doesn't want to play, maybe it's time to fix it, you know?
Yep.
So I fully support her, and I, you know, plus she's coming off a major tournament, so just take a little break, enjoy yourself.
So I applaud her endlessly for being as open and honest as she has been about this. Also, coming out about something like this in the public eye it's an anxiety-inducing, hard thing to do. I hope she gets the help and the support that she needs to just keep herself sane. Now, on the bigger picture scale of things, because I've heard Stephen A. Smith talk about this. I've heard a lot of other people talk about what the obligation is when it comes to these athletes and their media availability. I love what they said as far as that statement. When she's coming back, they're going to try to figure something else out, which is where I think we need to be. Hearing anybody in the media talk about how it is so these athletes' responsibility to make themselves available, I think it's depending on how they do that. Majority of the times when we're talking about these press conferences after somebody plays or before somebody plays, we don't learn anything new. It's the same boilerplate bullshit constantly. And sometimes, as a matter of fact, when people do skip it, it puts your sport more in the news than if they were to attend. I know goddamn well tennis was not on my register of talking about anything this week, and now because of this, I'm talking about it. I know when you look at other athletes, Marshawn Lynch, notorious for shitty press conferences. And guess what? It didn't make him any less fun to fucking watch. It didn't change the fact that when I knew his team was playing, I wanted to fucking see him play. Even if he didn't do that, even if he didn't fucking give that, oh, we give 100%, you know, sometimes the ball just doesn't go our way, you know, oh, all our guys just play hard. All that dumb shit.
We're a family. We play together.
Especially nowadays when you can do so much more that reaches even more people. I don't know what her social media presence is. Maybe her social media will do more as far as pushing the game forward than anything she could do as far as a press conference. Maybe she'll do a lot better with one-on-one interviews with a reporter than she would ever do on a press conference stage. They need to look at these athletes individually and figure out what's going to be best suited for these guys. Not to mention, it's still not like the way I look at almost everything sports-wise is through an NFL prism, right? Tom Brady, known as probably the biggest name maybe in the NFL. Yeah, biggest name in the NFL. Tom Brady, right? Tom Brady plays the game. He is expected. They're all expecting him to talk in that press conference right after the game goes, right? Regardless of how the game shakes out, he's supposed to be the guy. When Taylor Heineke for the Washington football team played in that playoff game against Tom, he makes a league minimum salary. He's there and he played a playoff game, and the expectation is that he's supposed to do the exact same press conference Tom is supposed to do. And I'm saying they're not two equal guys. if you're going to ask somebody to do something as far as the press conferences, and that's a part of their thing, they need to be incentivized to do so. They probably need to have another thing in the contract where you are getting paid for these appearances, and it's not just part of your thing. Because I know they don't expect the quarterback to do the exact same thing that the backup fucking left guard of your football team is doing, but it's supposed to all be part of their agreement, right? And yet they ask certain guys to do things that they were not asking other guys to do. That part of it needs to change. It can't just be a blanket statement, this is part of your thing. No. I think that you've got a lot of people at ESPN and everybody else that are just in this mindset of this is the way things have always been. This is the way things are. They get nostalgic for being in those rooms, answering questions of these athletes when they usually don't get shit out of it. It's usually them trying to get the players to react to something and then have it fit into a narrative. And then once it fits into the narrative, they're using whatever it is they want to have it.
And
it's bullshit.
We're talking about guys whose careers are built off the fact that they love being in the public eye. Like all these guys on ESPN every single day are in the public eye making statements, right? And they're comfortable doing that. There's a fuck ton of people who aren't. I've seen a kid throw up talking in front of a classroom of 20 people because he got so nervous, even though we're his friends. Like, it's just some people aren't built that way. And that's fine. That kid went on to be an aerospace engineer. Genius. You know what he doesn't have to do as an aerospace engineer? Talk in front of rooms full of people. He just builds rockets. So it's just
personally,
it makes me
switched
angry.
my majors in college from one to agriculture and resource economics with business management, just because I didn't have to take public speaking classes. So I understand her point. And they need to change it. Like, simple as that. Like, so
And if
it's bigger than organizations. Like, it's about the game in itself. Make it so that your players are comfortable. If it's not hurting anything, make it work. And then even like I saw another comment on, like, the post was saying, like, all right, so let's say she does do this interview. How is it not different from all the other ones? Like, are you going, like, did you even pay attention to the last one she did? Like, so you're making all this hoopla about shit you're not even going to watch.
Yeah, sure. I watch her whilst she's playing. And then
like, I just want to see you play. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't need to see you talk about the match. Just, I want to see what you do on the court.
And look, if it's making her that uncomfortable, it's definitely affecting her play. So you're going to end up with if you're the organization, you're ending up with a worse product at the end of the day by forcing her to do this. Mm-hmm. So,
and not to mention, she is somebody who's gone through the fucking ringer as far as everybody remembers a couple years ago, the Williams match. Like, it was like, there's a lot of stuff that she can say media wise. Is like, I'm uncomfortable.
And she said that's when it started.
Yeah. How the fuck? How can anyone be okay after experiencing something like that? You spend your entire life working up to this. You're playing against your hero, and it goes that way, where you're apologizing for winning. Like, it's just, what? Like, that's a hard thing to come past. And to hear how her name was being dragged in a certain way, like, it was just shitty. And it's just one of those things that, like, the way that it feels is that the media pays these absorbent amount of money for access to the game or access to do this or do that, and they want everyone to dance to their tune. And at the end of the day, fuck off. Like, you don't need this.
Number 2 right now.
You do not need this to make your sport this. And I don't know if I don't know if I shared it with you guys. I know I shared it with the other podcast because we had talked about this. Was that, did you ever see the interview that they tried to do with, I think it was Serena or Venus, as she was a kid, and her dad stepped in?
Yeah, I saw
and took over and was like, hey, no, this is not the way it's going to go. You guys can't do this to this kid. And you have so many people that don't have that. And guess what they did to get to Venus and Serena's father? Drug his ass through the mud about how he was this controlling father and how he was this, that, and the other, where he did everything he possibly do to protect his kids. It's the same reason I think LeVar Ball's a fucking genius, because he was a lightning rod for all the shit that was going to happen as far as his sons. Now, one of his sons decided to go steal sneakers in Nike in China, which was fucking stupid shit. But overall, He did what he needed to do. Says, hey, pile on me. Pile on me. Leave my fucking kids alone. And he nailed that shit. Not to mention what he did as far as the Sue deal. That's why fucking, who is it that got the Puma deal? Was it LaMelo?
Merlot.
Fucking sick. But it's just that this is where you're seeing is that you be part of the machine or not. And I applaud for Stephen A. for being as open as he was as far as talking about what he went through as far as his mom and stuff. But the same, Stephen A., Max, all you guys, you need to take a step back and realize the perspective in which you're talking from comes from a bias of the making your job easier. And I know Max said that he was leading with that bias. Like he said, there's no way that I could sound unbiased. It's you guys cannot separate your bias from this topic. You can't.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the end of the episode. K-Dot, you got final thoughts?
Nicholas Batum.
That was a cool start. Well,
the story about him and his dad blew my fucking mind.
Yep. Same here.
His father was a professional basketball player in France.
Yeah, France.
And he and his mom and the rest of the family were watching him play. And I think as he was shooting free throws, he collapsed and died, like convulsing and everything. And he died right there on the court. And there was no outside. They have no idea how it happened. And to think that you have this man who watched his father go out that way, and you're playing the game of basketball and being constantly reminded of that shit, brother, I got so much respect for you. You have no idea. I can't imagine. Yeah, I forget the name. There's a form of therapy where you trigger yourself with the certain feelings and certain emotions. I don't know the terminology. I'm fucking that up. And to know that every time that you play in that game, you were basically being triggered into that.
And shooting free throws.
Bro, we're talking about mental health awareness. Like, this is the shit that I want to hear more stories about instead of some shitty press conferences, is to see how special and unique these gentlemen are, or women, all these athletes are, as far as their stories and what it is they've gone through and what kind of adversity they face every day. Like that to me, I would have never known that.
You know how that story came up?
Oh, because of the writer, the
Charlotte beat writer that passed away, I think at 63. Yeah. So yeah, no, that was pretty nuts.
Yeah, that was insane. It's just it's been on my mind ever since I heard it. Like I can't imagine doing that.
I was rooting for him, and I'm like, go ahead, man.
Like driving through DC, there are certain streets that I knew or have seen shit go down that's still hard to drive down. I can't imagine playing a game in which I would have to relive or rethink that every time I'm stepping on and doing my job and doing it at a high level. It's an incredible story.
Right?
Two things. First, shout out to TJ Olson, Greg Olson's son. Greg Olson, I know like 2 weeks ago was like he's on his last legs because he's waiting for a heart transplant. Donor came through. TJ Olson, I think, got out of surgery yesterday. Successful. He's doing well. So that was a good story to hear. Kids dying because of sickness makes me sad. And secondly, my Mets are at the top of the division, and it's kind of like the tiger at the top of the light post. We don't know how he got up there, but he ain't gonna stay up there. So I'm just gonna ride this out for as long as it's gonna go. But man, baseball stadiums at full capacity, just without it for a year, is mind-blowing. Just seeing it on TV, seeing stadiums with people in them has been mind-blowing.
And all the fights.
Such a good experience, even if I'm not there, to see like how the game is so much better when the fans are there. You can see the interaction with the players, see players getting hyped up when they're at bats, everything. So make sure if you haven't and you don't have some sort of medical condition that would prevent you from doing it, go get vaccinated for the love of God. Please. Because then everything can be open at 100%.
And donate your organs.
Yeah, become an organ donor.
Become an organ donor.
So that
it's
little
good.
little TJ Olsen can get a heart, or the kid after TJ Olsen, or the guy after TJ Olsen,
Or the liver that Ryan will need. Sign up. Get in line.
My liver, however, is not a match for anybody.
We need you to. We know Ryan's going to need a liver one day. We just need to help him out already.
And kidneys.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That whole system.
Yeah, it's going to be rough.
My final thought is
take care of your organs.
Right. I appreciate all of you guys that watched Mauricio's episode of What's Next for Bayern Munich. After this, we're going to record our first official full-length episode on the 46 minute, just in regards to the Euros. And then Ryan is going to record his own about Arsenal. What's next for Arsenal? Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it'll be fun.
No, it's the preparation for it has been very difficult.
Oh, I mean, you watched, so you already know what's up. You watched.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it.
I spent the entirety of last night watching soccer stuff.
Oh, yeah.
What I'm finding hilarious is that as I finally got what I wanted, and we're not talking about soccer on the main pod because there's a soccer pod, I'm starting to get into soccer.
You know what's funny?
Look what we've done.
We're about to record another episode right after this. Do you want to join?
Nope.
Just join and say you support Liverpool.
I got shit to do. I'm still trying to figure out a lot of the logistics on some of this stuff.
Why do you like Liverpool?
There was a good I think it was a BBC documentary. It was about American money in European soccer, and also trying to figure out the crazy balance that it is as far as how socialist all of Europe is, and yet soccer is such a capitalistic thing in certain aspects of stuff, but also that it's like capitalism, but we want to hold you during it, or at least lie to you during it. Then there's this Americanized thing, which is pure blown capitalism, but also communism for rich people. Like it's really weird, or socialism for rich people.
Trickle up economics.
But it's fascinating. Like I'm really starting to dive deep into it, and I'm hearing about the analytics and stuff that Liverpool had done to create their team and how it is that they manage their team. And I'm like, I like this.
So really, you only looked at Liverpool so far?
Leeds.
Okay.
So between them two, I was kind of looking at the way that they're building their rosters and all that. So I know there are certain teams that
You only looked at two teams.
No, there were other teams I looked at that kind of eliminated. There was a lot of the English teams, and I'm like, all right, the way they start, like hearing about Arsenal's beginnings and how they were actually part of an arsenal as far as military munitions. And I think that's dumb, so I don't want to support them. So the couple teams have been eliminated, but there are other teams I'm like,
all right. So wait, you focused in the English league so far?
I don't think I'm going outside of England. Even though I did realize I have a pair of Puma Italian soccer shorts that I was wearing the other day. I don't know where they came from. I guess I bought them somewhere.
What color were they?
They're blue, but the logo's like green and red and something or other.
It's the Italian national team.
It might be the Italian national team, yeah. But it's just I don't know. I'm starting to get there's certain things that are fascinating to me about soccer, and I think the American takeover of soccer is fascinating me the most.
But you know who owns Liverpool, right?
It's the Red Sox.
Fenway Sports Group, yeah.
Right, which is the only thing that's kind of bugging me is because of how much I fucking hate the Red Sox.
And LeBron.
And LeBron owns
LeBron, and there's a lot of other Americans that are kind of like what's his name? Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny. He's a part owner of its squad. Like it's then I started realizing how much money you actually need to buy a team, and I'm kind of like, maybe I want one.
Billions?
Huh? No, I'm gonna go this a totally different route. But I think I might
buy like a small like Division
9
team in Panama.
No. You know what? I have a scheduled phone call next week, and I am going to I'm trying something. I'm really gonna try something. I'm not gonna own a team, but I am legitimately trying to do something. And I'm kind of excited about it.
All right. Well, I look forward to listening about it.
Hey, we do this shit.
I might be the voice of a soccer team.
Oh,
in now on the 43rd minute.
I just
I
gotta
mean,
learn
you're
more
good for
about
it.
it, but this is kind of dope. Like
you're good for it.
I know.
Oh my God, he scored!
Go.
And that's a goal.
And
But I know my catchphrase is like
he kicks the ball to his teammates,
It's just-
and he
it's-
missed.
Mbaku
And this shit is
Mbappe
going.
hits the goal, and there we go. Liverpool wins, and if you didn't know, now you know, because I told you. Bye, guys.